What's up, y'all? This is Dominic with PoorPumperSociety. I'm on the side of a highway right now. So we are at a commercial mechanic shop and they have a septic tank on the property. It's just on the outskirts of town, just far enough to where it's not able to connect to the city sewer. So thankfully we have a pair of risers on the tank, and you can see for the most part, most all the grass is dead. You can see a really bright strip of green right there, and what that is the drain field. So during the summer when there's not a lot of rain, it's really dry, it's pretty easy to find at least where your drain field is. Now if you start noticing that green all around the tank lids itself, that means you've got stuff bubbling up from there. So that's an indicator that your tank has a leak somewhere and it's not able to make it out to the drain field. So we're gonna pump this out for routine maintenance. I believe it's been about 3 years since it was last pumped out. On these commercial buildings, you get a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people using the restroom, don't know what they're putting down. It's really good to stay on top of your septic system. That way you won't need any replacements or repairs done, because right now in the county, if this were to go out, they'd have to upgrade to an aerobic system, and a lot of people don't want that. So if you still have a conventional system, pipe and gravel drain field, maintain it, keep up with it. That way you won't have to lead to an expensive repair or replacement. And if you want to check out any of the tools I use in my video, you can check the description down below. I've got links to everything, and those are affiliate links, so I do get a percentage of all sales. It helps me and it helps the channel. And if this is your first time watching, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, drop a comment down below. And without further ado, let's get into it. So, got some tough tight risers. It looks like it's missing a couple screws. And this is why I usually recommend installing risers a little higher. That way you don't got to worry about dirt filling in these screw holes. As of September 1st, they're actually passing a new rule for TCEQ that you have to have risers on new installs two inches above grade. So that would be 2 inches above the soil right here. Make it a lot easier. You don't have to worry about getting dirt in the screw holes. All right, so we got the inlet right here. Let's see what we're working with. Oh yeah, pretty thick. You can see we're kind of on a hill right here. So, of course, all this dirt just kind of erodes over the lid. Not too bad though. Much rather have to scrape a little bit of dirt than dig up the entire lid. And I've got some spare screws on the truck. I always carry some with me, just in case these risers are missing any screws. I'll go ahead and replace them. Mostly loaded. So we got the pump truck up there doing its thing. We have blended up the inlet side, so you can see that's a lot easier for the hose to vacuum up than that chunky stuff we saw earlier. And here's the outlet side. That pipe runs out here and then over to the drain field. And most of the tanks here in my area, they are 2 compartments. So you can see that's the concrete baffle separating these 2 chambers, and that pipe right there is about halfway. So what'll happen is that chunky scum layer will build up top, the heavier solids will sink to the bottom and create that sludge, and in the middle should be effluent, or that dirty water that you want going out into your drain field. And you can see they have this pipe extended down, that's the outlet baffle. And the reason they have these in place is so when that effluent comes over here, it can go up and out to the drain field without that top scum layer being able to make its way through there. Once it starts getting thick in the drain field, you start having a lot of problems, and it can get pretty expensive. And that is another reason you want to make sure that if you do have 2 chambers on your septic tank, that whoever goes out to pump it digs up both lids. Now I know in a lot of states, a lot of different counties, they have different style of tanks. Sometimes they just have, this is a 1,000-gallon tank, so they may have a 1,000-gallon tank with just 1 compartment. So they're not gonna have that concrete baffle. So technically you could pump the entire tank from just 1 lid, but again, you wanna make sure they get pretty thorough. I always have people asking me all the time, do I leave anything at the bottom? And the answer to that is no. The main reason for pumping out the tank is getting the solids out. So I'm not gonna leave a ton of solids at the bottom. I'm gonna do my best to get as much as I can. Even if I rinse it off with the water hose, there's no way I'm gonna be able to get all this bacteria out of the tank. I'm not gonna hop in there, play some Mexican music and start rubbing fabuloso on everything. It'll do its thing when it fills back up. And then if you have it pumped out every 2 to 5 years, you shouldn't have any problems unless you're doing something crazy, flushing crazy stuff down the drain. So I'm gonna get finished pumping these out and we'll see what it looks like after. So we're getting to the bottom of this tank right now. I don't have access to water on this job site, but you can see that's the bottom, concrete bottom of the tank. As long as you can see some of the bottom, all that little stuff shouldn't make too big of a difference. Now, if you have somebody trying to tell you you've got like 3 or 4 inches of sludge at the bottom, trying to leave that as like starter bacteria, no. Don't do that over here. Now, you don't want to, now, you're not going to eat off this thing, it is going to fill back up, but you do want to get the vast majority of these solids out of the tank. So even now I'm going to scrape a little more just to get some of that chunky stuff out. But like I said, you don't have to go overkill on it. At the same time, you don't want to leave a ton of sludge at the bottom. And now we're on the bottom of the inlet side. You can see that's the pipe that leads over to the outlet. But another thing you want to keep in mind is a lot of times people don't volume fill their backing up. So it's always good to have the other test just to make sure everything is entering the tank and you don't have to instructions in the valve so it's clean out. You don't want to finish up, put everything away, drive down the street and get a call that customers will back it up. So pretty much done with this. Gonna put the risers back on, add some extra screws, that way nobody will fall on the lid, and then head to dump. So this first lid's missing about 1, 2, 3, 4, half of the screws, so got some new ones we're gonna put on. Got all the screws on the inlet. Now the outlet's missing about the same amount, so get these on as well. So after we pump out a septic tank, we head over here to the wastewater treatment plant. We are going to empty our truck into the same place that all the sewage in the city runs into. So it's going to be treated the exact same. And what we have to do right now is fill up this little cup with a sample just to make sure the pH is at the right place it needs to be. That way it doesn't disrupt the process of this treatment. We got our sample. Now we're going to take it inside, and the people here at the wastewater treatment plant are going to test the pH and make sure it's at the right levels to be disposed of. So we got our form back. We got 1,000 gallons with a pH of 7, and they've got everything dated. So in order to prevent a lot of funny business with, you know, back in the day, people would pump out a septic tank, drive down a county road, and empty it in a bar ditch somewhere. So to combat that, we have manifests at every disposal plant we go to. So we fill out how many gallons we pumped, what time we were at the site, how many gallons the tank was, and then we come to the treatment plant. They sign off on it, and a lot of them now have started running pH tests just so it doesn't disrupt everything they've got going on at the treatment plant. Because if you disrupt that, you can potentially harm the ecosystem at which everything is being treated. So always make sure you figure out what your treatment plant allows and stick to the rules. I mean, you have somebody come over here and dump something they're not supposed to, it can ruin it for everyone. And wastewater has to go somewhere, so it really puts all of us in a bind when we have to travel extremely long distances just to try and empty the truck. Now this particular wastewater plant is really nice. So you've got everything being treated out there, and believe it or not, by the time it comes out of there and discharged into the creek, it's better quality than the creek water. Now I know a lot of y'all may not want to hear that, but that's just the reality for treating wastewater in the United States today. And it's a lot better than just having raw sewage running out into the streets. So I'm going to connect to this hose, open the valve, and it'll go down the same channel where all the sewage from town is entering and getting treated. So everything is exiting the truck and getting emptied right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to press this magic button, and that's going to activate the bar screen. So all the wipes and stuff that is in the truck or getting passed through the city sewer lines, they're going to get caught first thing on that bar screen. And this rake right here is going to go down, scrape it, and throw it away. See what it picked up on the magical poo train. It's probably wiped more than likely. Let's go over to the trash can and see what we got. The suspense is killing me. Bunch of wipes. Gets added to the rest of the bunch. I always get a ton of questions asking where we dispose of what we pump out, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of a glimpse. And hopefully in the near future, maybe I can get somebody at the wastewater treatment plant anywhere to give me a tour and give y'all a more detailed walkthrough, because I'm just a pumper. I show up and empty it out, so I have a very vague idea of what goes on at the treatment plant, but I'm sure somebody who works at one can give y'all a lot more info. But that's the video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below. If you have any questions about your septic system, drop them down. Maybe I'll make a video talking about it and see what we can do to help you out. And as always, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good one.